Assalamu alaikum dear students. Hope you are fine, you are doing good and safe. I expect that you are utilizing this time in a productive way and you are taking the necessary information, necessary knowledge and important knowledge from the internet, not from these videos. Also there's a lot of steps available on the internet. Whatever you are able to learn, whatever you may want to learn, you are interested in learning, please use the time effectively, use the source effectively, so that it will help you in your development. Anyway, in yesterday's video lecture we did question number 4. Now in today's video lecture we will do question number 5. I will read the question and I also suggest to you while watching the video, keep the book with you. It will help you to understand very well. ABCD is a parallelogram. E and F are the midpoints of the sides AB and CD respectively. Prove that the segment CE and AF trisects the diagonal BD. So we are given that a very simple question. ABCD, this is a parallelogram. So E is the midpoint of AD and F is the midpoint of CD. F is the midpoint of CD. So further, prove that the segments, we have to prove that the segment CF, CE and AF. CE, what is CE? This is this line. CE and AF, I think AF, this is your AF. We have to prove that it by trisects the diagonal BD. This is your BD. So let us name it here. This is P. I'm sorry. A. We have to prove that it yes, we have to prove that it diagonal line segment CE and CF, sorry, CE and AF trisects diagonal BD. So let us name it here G, let us name it here P. We have to prove that this AF and CE it trisects diagonal BD, that is we have to prove that BG is equal to GP is equal to PD. That is the theorem which question which we have to prove that. Very simple, it is it's a very simple question. So let us prove it. Proof. Have a look. First of all, what we will do, we will try to form this AECF a parallelogram. How can you how can you make this is a this parallelogram? Very simple. Look, AD parallel BC, is it? AD parallel BC, AD parallel BC, is it? Yes, of course it is, because ABCD is a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. So can we say that AE parallel CFC? AE parallel FC, how? Yes, I already told you in the previous video lectures that whenever whole lines are parallel, then their halves are also parallel, their parts are also parallel. Remember this. So AE parallel FC, name this one. Also you know that we can write it, since this is the midpoint. Yes, AE is the, just 1 second. Also AD equals BC. Why? AD equals BC. Why? Again, opposite sides of parallelogram are equal. So can we write it? 1/2 AD equals 1/2 BC, half. So since E is the midpoint, what is half of AD? Half of AD is to either AE or ED. Similarly, F is the midpoint of BC. What is the half of BC? It is either BF or FC. So here we will name it, or we will take AD. Yes, we will take AE, and we will take here FC. Why? Because we need this AEFC, we need this. We could have taken also ED as well as FB, but we are not required to take them. We are required to only these two sides, because we need to form this quadrilateral parallelogram. So if you look a line segment, a quadrilateral having one pair of opposite side parallel and equal, it is what? It is a parallelogram. From first and second, we get AECF is parallelogram. AECF is parallelogram. Now if you look, this is a parallelogram. So it means that, yes, if this is a parallelogram, AEFC is a parallelogram, it means AF parallel EC, or FG parallel PC. Why? Because I already told you, when the whole lines are equal, their parts are also equal. Since AFC is a parallelogram, so it means, which implies that AF parallel EC, or we can write GF parallel PC, GF or FG parallel PC, FG parallel PC. So but F is the midpoint of BC. Here converse of midpoint theorem will come into play. What is the converse of midpoint theorem? A line segment, the line drawn from one midpoint of side of triangle parallel to third side, parallel to another side, then it bisects the third side. If you look in triangle, we will write in triangle PBC, FG parallel PC, FG parallel PC. Why? Because we have already done it. And G is midpoint of F is midpoint of BC. F is midpoint of BC. FG parallel PC. So by the converse of midpoint theorem, G is midpoint of PB. So which means that G is midpoint of BP. Why? Because by converse of midpoint theorem. Converse of midpoint theorem is what? Line segment drawn from one midpoint of side of triangle parallel to another side, then it must bisect the third side. That is, it must bisect the third side means the parts of that line segments are equal. So if G is the midpoint of PB, it means that BG equals GP. Is it? Of course, G is the midpoint of BG equals GP. Similarly, we can prove that GP equals PD. GP equals PD. We can easily prove it again by making this parallelogram. Have a look. If you look upon this triangle, DAB and GE is And again, this is parallelogram, this is line is parallel to this. It means GP equals PD. Here if you look here, EP is parallel to AG, and EP is parallel to EP is parallel to AG is the midpoint. So it means that P is the midpoint of DG. P is the midpoint of DG. So if P is the midpoint of DG, it means that PG equals PD. Okay, I hope you can understand it. We need not to show it here, we can also read it here. Similarly, we can prove that P is the midpoint of DG. It means GP is equal to PD. How we can prove that? Again, E is the midpoint in triangle ADB, ADG, ADG. E is the midpoint, EP is parallel to PG. It means P is the midpoint of DG. Similarly, we can prove that P is the midpoint of DG. P is midpoint of DG. That means PG equals PD. So we got PG equals PD. So have a look. So we got 3 equal sides. Therefore, we will write it here. Please pause the video here to note it down. We will write now. Therefore, BG equals GP equals PD. So this was all about this question. Because PG is equal to PD, BG is equal to GP, it means all 3 sides are equal. It means this line segments or line segment CE and AF trisects the diagonal BD. So this was all about today's question. I hope you will get it. If you still find any difficulty in understanding this question, please let me know that. I will make you understand it again. Thank you, class.